Again, welcome our Guru Maharaj and Nanda Vishwan Maharaj. Sila Guru Maharaj ki. So maraming salamat po sa lahat na nagpunta, sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Caloocan Bhakti Vriksha, Vriksha Eco Village, Shishirada Madhava Mandir. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng umattend. No? We would like to take advantage this opportunity to hear a lecture from our Srila Guru Maharaj. And we would like to thank also the attendees from Bulacan. May nakita ko dito from Bulacan. Si Vrindavan and Radha Priya. And we would like also to thank Jardhan Prabhu
Where is he?
He's still cooking.
He's cooking.
So, thank you sa lahat ng bumubuo ng program na ito, and Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Guru Maharaj ki.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. It's so nice to see you all. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming this evening from far and near, all the way from Echo Village, parts of Manila. Hare Krishna. I'm not sure our friends in the office, are they okay? Seems to be a door office there. Hare Namananda?
Thanks, Mark.
The personnel in the office are okay?
Yes, Mark.
You sure?
Yeah.
We're making a lot of noise.
Okay, I will.
Trying to work. Are you okay? It's okay? You sure? Thank you very much. Make sure they get prasad, huh? Make sure they get prasad. Are they friends? You know them? You know each other? Hare Krishna, nice to see some senior devotees. Sridham, Rigar, Rambhadra, and others who come from Vriksha Village. And nice to see some of our members of our Indian community here tonight. Thank you for coming, those from the Indian community. Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. Do you live nearby? You live near here?
Yes.
Pardon?
From Malabon.
Malabon. Hare Krishna. So we've just come Australia. Yesterday evening we arrived. As I mentioned in Bhakti last night, the flight which we took from Australia was almost out of Brisbane. You've heard of Brisbane. It's a fairly large city in Australia. It was practically the last flight leaving because they closed the airport 1 or 2 hours later because a big cyclone was just about to hit Brisbane. Something we call typhoon over here. One of the last flights out the airport was like preserved it once we had it. The Christians arrangement we made it, we thought we were going to be marooned. My servant's plane was cancelled. His flight was cancelled. His flight was the same time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Everyone can settle down as soon as you can. Shadow's coming. Very soon, Gopurnim is coming. Gopurnim is the wonderful festival being here today of Lord Chaitanya. Not everybody's heard of Lord Chaitanya. Even amongst the Indian community, you may or may not have heard of Lord Chaitanya. You've heard of Lord Ramachandra. You've heard of Lord Shiva. You've heard of Lord Krishna. And Lord Ganesh, and so many other lords and maidens. But not many people have heard of Lord Chaitanya. So I don't know whether you can hear what I'm saying. Can you hear or not? Not sure. It's a bit kind of cloudy, isn't it?
Yes, echo.
Pardon?
Echo, but yeah.
Echo. I don't know if the sound can be a little clearer or not. No idea. We keep trying different microphones. Hare Krishna. Is that clearer or not?
Yes.
Can you hear in the back? Yes. Go straight down. Can you hear at the back? Yes. Can you hear at the front? Yes. Can you hear in the middle? Yes. Can you hear up there? What about down there? What about in there? Can you hear in here? In the heart? Yes. Can you hear in there? That's where we have to hear, isn't it? Yes. Usually it goes through this ear and out that one. Isn't it? In one ear and out the other. How much do we digest? If I ask you questions at the end of this evening, how much would you be able to answer? Questions on what we may say. How much will you be able to remember? Maybe a few things. But generally we don't digest very well. And our hearing in Caloocan is not very attentive. It's one of the characteristics of the age we're in. This age of Kali is full. Mandasamanda Matayo, Mandabhagu Padu. Hare Krishna. This means in this age, people are just so, we think we live a long time, but not very long. And 50 to 100 years is not very long. Short-lived, quarrelsome. Have you ever met anybody who quarrels? Have you met anybody who quarrels besides yourself? Besides yourself? Yeah. We're very good at quarreling sometimes, aren't we? We don't think that, no, why is everyone quarreling with me? It takes two to make the quarrelsomeness, this age. You don't have to look very far between religions, between nations, between generations, between ideologies, between countries, and on you could go. Everything is a cause of quarrel. Sport, even how someone looks at you.
You can start getting upset, huh? They looked at me. Why are you looking at me? What's wrong with you? Nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you, mate? What, you want to fight? Caloocan. Very quarrelsome. Lazy. Have you ever heard of laziness? I don't think in Philippines the word exists, does it? Does it exist in Philippines, lazy? There's no lazy people in Philippines, are there? Huh? No lazy people here. Some people work hard, so to speak. Materially, laziness is also a very common characteristic. We just do what we need to do and that's it. What to speak of spiritually lazy? Hardly anyone's interested in genuine spiritual life. We're very interested in some kind of religious doctrine which facilitates our material efforts. To try to fill our bellies. Oh my Lord, give us this day our daily bread, and so on. Or get a nice job, or live a nice life, go to heaven. All kinds of what I want. We give our wish list to God. And religion is meant to fulfill our wish list, mostly. But very few people are really serious about our real self-interest, our spiritual self-interest, of actually giving up this idea of I am in the center. I am the enjoyer. I am the controller. I am the proprietor. And so on. And realizing that we exist for loving Krishna, loving God. It's a wonderful opportunity. So very soon, and also another quality of this age, besides being lazy, quarrelsome, what else? Another quality? What is another quality? A good quality of this age, what is it? Lazy, quarrelsome, misguided. We're easily cheated, aren't we? Very easily cheated. You know, we get carried away this way and that way. We don't know what's going on. Cheated scientifically, even sometimes religiously, we're cheated. We're cheated to think that if you spend all your money on this, you'll be happy. Does it make us happy? You spend all your money on this, that, then you've got to spend it on something else. And there's so much fear, isn't it? Isn't there so much fear in the world? Yes. What are you afraid of in Philippines? You've got nothing to be afraid of. What is there fearful here?
Flood.
Pardon? Floods?
Poverty.
Poverty. A lot of people suffer from poverty, yeah? What else? Flooding? You get floods. Huh?
Money.
Money?
Yeah.
You're afraid of money? Afraid of losing money? Huh? It's amazing. We create all these things, and along with it goes fear. You're afraid, like mobile phones. Everyone's afraid of losing their mobile, isn't it? Right? You know only too well. Everyone's afraid of this. Oh God, where's my mobile? My mobile, where's my mobile?
Wi-Fi, losing Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi, that's another anxiety. And then family life, so many fears are in the family life, health. We're all afraid of sickness. Who's not afraid of being sick? No one likes to be sick. And everyone's afraid of death. You can't avoid it, isn't it? War, death. You haven't seen war, probably none of you. But, earthquakes. You've had earthquakes. I saw a sign today. Go this way for earthquakes. I don't know if that means if you go that way there will be an earthquake. Or if there's an earthquake, you have to go that way. I wasn't quite sure. Earthquakes that way. Typhoons that way. Hurricanes that way. Volcanoes that way. And something up there that way. Every direction is fear in this age. And people are misled. And above all, in Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam says above all, Kali Yuga, symptom of Kali Yuga, what is it? The symptom of Kali Yuga. Above all, always what? Hare Krishna. Just the wonderful microphone system we have here. This is the fourth one we've been through tonight. Hare Krishna. Oh, back again we go. Hare Krishna. What's the fourth? There are many other symptoms, by the way, if you read in the scriptures. Many symptoms of this age. These are just some of the brief ones. Above all, always disturbed. Is anyone not disturbed? How much peace have we got in the heart? We may try to make peace outside, huh? Some peace treaty, okay, we make an agreement. I remember when I first went, a lot of the time I spend in France. Anyone been to France besides Jivananda Prabhu? Anyone else been to France? You know where France is? Have you heard of France? You've heard of Paris? Paris? Yeah. Anyway, not when I first went there, when I first went there, maybe to try to really render some service, so to speak, about 10 years back, I suppose. One of the first things they told me, I tried to form some kind of, meeting between the leaders, And the first thing they said, the last meeting they had, they had a very nice meeting. Kadamba Maharaj was there, if you ever heard of Kadamba Swami. He speaks French. He was spending a lot of time in France about 20 years ago or something. More than that, maybe. And they had a wonderful meeting, and they said, this was a great meeting. They spent the whole meeting arguing, quarreling, criticizing, etc. And then they said, that was a really good meeting. We should have another meeting very soon. And then the next meeting, they agreed on one thing. They agreed not to agree. we just agreed. You do your thing, we do ours. And what to do? This is Kali Yuga. It's very hard to see beyond our own imperfect visions, our own interpretations, our own doctrines, our own conditionings, our own cultures. And that is inevitable. They're always there. But the whole idea of spiritual life is to rise above it, isn't it? Now, one of the main things, now we spoke about Lord Chaitanya for a second or two. In about a week's time, is it? When is Gaur Purnima? 14. What date? 14. So exactly a week today, so it's next Friday, is that correct? Next Friday is Gaur Purnima. Purnima, the full moon. Many festivals take place on the full moon. So this is one of them. Gaura means golden. It's a form of Krishna. Now, who is golden? I don't know here, but they might both be golden. Are they brass? I don't know, I can't see. Maybe not. Usually Krishna is seen as blackish, isn't he? And the lady with him, what's her name? Anyone know? With Krishna, there's a lady with him. Anybody know her name? Maybe you've heard it before. What's her name? The lady with Krishna? Come on, what's her name? Pardon? Radharani. Well done. Well done. Radharani. Radha and Krishna. What color is Radharani? Golden color. Golden. We can't imagine, like molten Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Molten gold. You can't imagine how brilliant her effulgent complexion is. And one of the main, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, one of the main, let's say, there's an interesting story. Once upon a time, there's a long story, I don't know where we're going to start here, but there's a story of one time, please come in. Rukmini. You've heard of Rukmini? Who is Rukmini? Who is Rukmini? Krishna. One of his. How many wives does he have? How many wives? Huh? How many? Some of those who don't know. You may know. How many wives does Krishna have? Yeah, that's how many we see in this world, isn't it? 16,108 when he appeared recently in this world. And the leader of well, you could say, the chief queen was Rukmini, Rukmini Dwarkadish. You go to Dwarka, you see the temple of Rukmini. Rukmini Dwarkadish. So Rukmini was crying. Rukmini was crying. So when Krishna saw her crying, he said, "Why are you crying, my dear Rukmini? Are you crying because of that time when I told you I'd leave you? I suggest you to go and find a suitable husband. I'm not qualified." And then Rukmini became devastated. "Are you still suffering from that?" She said, "No, my lord. That's not why I'm crying." "Why are you crying?" He said, "My lord, you will never understand this, my dear Prabhu. You will never understand why I'm crying." "What do you mean? I will never understand?" "No, my lord, you don't know why I'm crying. That's why I'm asking you. But why I'm crying is because of something you could never understand." But I'm God. I'm the supreme person. What do you mean I can't understand it? Huh? Can you imagine God cannot understand something? Something he doesn't know? That doesn't make sense, does it? See how personal this is. We think of God as like there and we're kind of there and that's it. Bang, you do what you're told or go to hell. It's not like it's the most personal relationships. Even between husband and wife, quite often, you can't understand each other. You're talking one thing and you're talking another, but you have different natures. There's a book out called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. They have a different nature. You know that book? Oh, it's every say at least, I don't know, most people in the West have read it. I don't know if it makes any difference. So difficult to understand each other. But even God has a difficulty of understanding. He said, tell me, what is it that I don't know? What is it? I want to know it. So he said, you cannot understand this unless you take the mood, the nature of Srimati Radharani. You can never understand it. Because you're Krishna. You can't understand what Radharani is feeling. When you leave us, the fear of not being with you is unbearable. Unbearable. You can't understand that. It's not possible. Only if you take the mood of Radharani. So he said, I must understand this. I must. I have to understand. There cannot be anything I cannot experience. So then Krishna, it's eternal form by the way, but it wasn't manifest, generally. So then he manifests this form of Gauranga.
Jai.
Lord Chaitanya. Golden limbed form, Krishna, with a mood of Radha. So it's a combined form. We worship Radha and Krishna, but in this age, to approach Radha and Krishna, you can only approach Radha and Krishna through Gauranga, through Lord Chaitanya. He took that form. And when he appeared 5,000, how many years ago did Krishna come? Does anyone know?
5,000 years.
More or less, a little bit more than that. 5,140 or something. Maybe a little more than that even. I did calculate it one time. You can calculate it. So whatever it is, he came about 5,000 years ago. Now that's not very, we think that's a long time, don't we? Many people think there was no civilization 5,000 years ago. But the civilization 5,000 years ago was unlimitedly more advanced than it is now. We judge civilization by a different paradigm. We judge it by, cars and tall buildings and things like that, having a bank balance. But what is that? That's not really a real civilization. That's not really culture. Even Mahatma Gandhi, everyone's heard of Mahatma Gandhi, I think, haven't you? Our Indian devotees have definitely heard of Mahatma Gandhi. I think all over the world people have heard of Mahatma Gandhi, isn't it?
Yes.
Even he said, one time he was asked, what do you think of the Western culture? One Western man said, what do you think of our culture? He said it would be a good idea. It would be a good idea if there was a culture. There is no culture in the West. It's just total gross exploitation, materialism, ignorance. Culture means that which brings us to our spiritual realization. A society designed to help us to become liberated from this bodily concept of life. It's not just a society to facilitate it. We're not even good at that, are we? I mean, we're driving around in Manila. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I have a microphone here if anyone wants it. You ready? Another one. Can someone go out and bring another 10 microphones? Oh, it's back online again. Here we go. Hare Krishna. He gets tired very quickly. Like most people. It's too hot. We're just driving a little bit up and down, round and round in Manila. And you can see. Some places there's a lot of squalor, isn't it? A lot of squalor. You know this word, squalor? Poverty. Living very poorly. Other places, it reminded me of the old days. It's still there in many ways in India. The electric wires. You know, even on Harinam just now, you could see the electric wires. There's like 10,000 electric wires tangled up in a big ball, hanging up on a post somewhere, isn't it? Going this way with telephone wires, electric wires, goodness knows what they are. In every direction, complete mess. The traffic, a mess, huh? Everywhere, mess. What a mess. You know the word mess? A mess. Jumble. Yeah.
Magulo.
Yes, magulo.
Huh? In Tagalog? What's it?
Magulo. Magulo.
Magulo.
Magulo.
Muck. Something like that. A lot of muck. Muckaluk?
Magulo. Gulo.
Gulo.
Yes, sir.
Something like that.
Chaos.
Chaos, yeah, chaotic. Very good. Very chaotic. Very chaotic. The world's becoming more and more kind of... There's like this glimmer on the surface, but there's like so much chaos behind the scene. We've mentioned other features of fear and what have you. So much mess is there everywhere. Even materially we're not doing so well. Or to speak of a culture which facilitates the fineries of life. I mean, we were discussing with Mahendra this morning, how many parks do you have in Manila? Parks. You know what a park is? I don't mean car parks. Parks.
Luneta Park.
How many do you have? Come on, give me the list.
All in Manila?
Well, kind of the major part of Manila, maybe on the very outside, I don't know, but the main part, a huge city, tens of millions of people. How many major parks do you have? I can only think of one. What do you call it? You said it, what is it? Car park?
Luneta Park.
Laneta?
Yes.
Laneta. Yeah, Laneta Park. I don't know of any others. There might be some little tiny ones somewhere. Even that's not very big. Even that's not very big. I mean, in most cities, I mean, you go to Australia, right? Jivanandapuram, isn't it? The cities are almost like nothing but a park, isn't it? All the roads are tree-lined practically. Every block there's another open space of grass and trees. There's lakes, rivers, birds. I was just telling Mahendra in Brisbane, we just came from there. How many types of birds do you regularly see in Manila? Birds. How many types of birds? Huh? How many types regularly? Maybe one flies in, one out. What's the second? I know one. Oh, you get pigeons here, yeah. Very, huh? Crows. There's only two birds I see, is the black crow and the pigeon. It's very rare to see another bird, isn't it? Even sparrows are rare. I mean, everywhere in the world, sparrows are everywhere. You don't see many of them. It's mostly crows. Crows.
Yes, crows.
And some pigeons, maybe. But mostly crows. You don't see those in most of the good cities in the West. You just don't see crows. You see pigeons sometimes in the center of the city. But in Australia, you see parrots, parakeets, laureates, all sorts of beautiful 8-colored birds, you know, they're multicolored birds, and then birds that sing so sweet you can't imagine. You wake up in the morning, you feel like you're in heaven. The birds are singing so sweetly. You wake up in the morning, and the best you have is a chicken. Oh, as they sing. And hellish sounds, you know. There's like, you know, it's many times you wake up in the morning, it's beautiful, this is that bird, I don't know what it is, the magpie is one of them. Other birds, they sing so beautifully. You feel so relaxed, you feel so enlivened. And so relaxed, you go outside, just like you do in Manila. You go outside with your gas mask on and go, ooh. What culture is this, you know? It's not a culture. No park anywhere. You can walk for miles and there's no open space. Isn't it? The only open space is the cemetery. There's a little bit of grass and a few trees in the cemetery. you want to go in there. I don't know if they let you in even without permit. Maybe they do. Or the places where rich people live, they lock them up, you know, they have their nice park there maybe. No, it's not meant like that. Human life, there should be lovely parks and fountains. Even in London, you know, half of London is a park. Massive parks. In Regent's Park, you know. There's about over 1,000 acres. I think it's about 2,000 acres or something. Just one park. That's about 800 hectares. Just one park. All in the city centre. Parks everywhere, isn't it? Less than 5 minutes you're in another park. Walking. That's it. Okay, that's still not what we're really talking about, but at least it's a little bit of a relief. Helps you be a little bit more relaxed, peaceful, cools you down. This age is so difficult to create that atmosphere. So what to do in this age? So society is not really providing a very easy foundation to cultivate those fine spirit, just like the food. And Jivananda Prabhu was saying he went in the shop yesterday. I know you were buying fruit or what? Buying some fruit. And he was shocked to see how expensive it was. This is not a rich country. It's not a rich country. You know that. But any decent food is really expensive. It's so hard to get actual food. Maybe if you live in the countryside, you can grow it. But most people, it's really expensive to get decent food. It's also processed, just like the milk. You know, you get milk here. Do you get milk here in Philippines?
Yes.
What type of milk?
Skim milk. Fresh milk only in the packet.
What's that mean, fresh milk?
Only in
The packet. Skimmed? Skimmed?
Yeah.
Skimmed. Huh?
Processed milk.
Processed. Yeah, you get the worst milk in the world here, practically. It's not really, they don't count it as milk in the Western world, practically. Homogenized, standardized, stabilized, reconstituted, you name it. Pasteurized, everything. Powder is actually milk powder, which they transform into liquid when it gets to the destination. And they call it fresh milk. They take out the whey, they take out the cream. The healthiest part of milk is the cream. The most unhealthy food you can take is low-fat milk. The most unhealthy thing you can take is low-fat milk. It's the most processed, it's the most difficult to digest. The safest thing is full cream on its own amongst the milk products. It's the least processed, believe it or not. I'm not saying you should take that either. Yeah. But it's so difficult to get really healthy food. Even when we were kids, you know, we used to get every single day of the week, every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, the dairy farmer would be on your door with bottles of fresh milk that morning, straight from the cow. Everywhere. 70 years ago. Everywhere. You get fresh milk if you're not living in the city centre. We were in a country town. Every morning, fresh milk straight from the dairy, unprocessed. Can you imagine? Gold top, cream this thick on the top. You couldn't pour it out the bottle. The milk wouldn't come out. You had to scoop the cream out with a spoon and then pour the milk out. Pure milk. There was no such thing as inorganic food. Everything was organic. You try to buy organic food in Manila, it probably costs a lot of money, isn't it? Yes. Some of you know. Yeah, but everything was organic. All this chemicals, insecticide, pesticides, this is all fourth economy. Exploitation, this is ruining the finer tissues of the brain. People can't sit still for a moment. They can't digest spiritual subjects. Their brain is so clogged up. Their capacity is so clogged up. It's almost a systematic. Back on again?
Yep.
It's almost a systematic program of Kali Yuga to degenerate the finer qualities of a human being. We think what is advanced is actually detrimental, is actually the opposite. So what to do? We're stuck in a situation. You can't do much. We're trying either devising fresh eco-village, maybe elsewhere, trying to do something, but it's very minimal. Very minimal. You can't hardly farm in this age. It's very difficult unless you're a farmer. Then you have to farm underneath in Europe. If you try to make your own farm, it's really difficult. The corporates, they take over. You're forced to produce what they want and sell it to them at their price. You can't even keep it for yourself. They'll sell it back to you. All the milk is taken away and processed. It's illegal in most places to do otherwise. It's such a difficult age. Kali Yuga. Kalaya dosha nide rajan. You know this verse? Kalaya dosha nide rajan. Asi heka mahanguna. Other than Kavi Prabhu he's from Nigeria. Embarrassing all you. He's from Nigeria. He knows all these things. Kaladoshanire Rajan Asiheka Mahanguna. Some voices I can hear in the background. Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramvajan Eka Mahaguna. What does Eka Mahaguna mean? Guna means what? Laguna. You have Laguna. What does that mean? Guna. You're in Laguna, you mean you're in the modes. They're in the modes out there. Laguna means mode. Mode. It means rope also. Rope. You're bound up in the modes of nature. The gunas they're called. So there's Eka means what? Eka. Maha means great. Guna means quality. Or quality can be quality also. One great quality in Kalaya Dosha. Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. But there is one great quality, and what is that? Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya. Kirtan, you all know the meaning of Kirtan? What does Kirtan mean? You look like you know them. I don't know, I've forgotten your name, young man. Radikesh. What's the meaning of Kirtan? Tell us, don't give him a clue. Come on. Don't be shy. Huh? What do you say?
Singing the holy names.
Huh?
Chanting the holy names.
Chanting, very good. Chanting, you could say chanting. What else does kirtan mean? That chanting, it means literally chanting. It could be chanting anything. You could be chanting Coca-Cola, 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 Pepsi-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Pepsi, Cola-Cola. So is that kirtan? It could be defined as kirtan, if it's just glorification. I mean, glorification, huh? It could be anything. You could be glorifying your family or nation, anything. But that's not the type of kirtan that we're referring to. It's kirtana eva Krishnasya, the glorification of Krishna. Chanting Krishna's names, but it literally means kirti, to glorify, yeah? To glorify. To glorify. And to glorify in its real sense, it has to be pure, not just sing so that you like it. That's okay, it's a good start. But we want to go further than that because we love Krishna. We want to develop, the culture means that which helps us to develop our love for God. That's the real culture. So there's a remnant of that, but it's being swept away in our modern materialistic lifestyles, etc. So especially for this Kali Yuga, this is Lord Chaitanya has come. It states in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you may know this verse also. How does that go? Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagya Sankitanam Praya Yajanti Hi Sume Dasaha. What does that mean? Harinamananda? Yes, it means we bow down. In one sense you're right. It's a bit more descriptive than that. Any of you know? It's a very important verse. Stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the last canto, it states that intelligent persons How many of you have a PhD? Hands up all the PhD holders in the room. PhD, I'm not one. No, don't. She's bowing down, I've got a PhD. No, I don't have a PhD. Any of you have a PhD? You have a PhD? Masters. Masters in what?
Public administration.
Public administration. Kavi Karnapur has a master's degree in public administration from University of Lagos? Abuja, another city in Nigeria. So some of you may have degrees or diplomas or whatever it may be. And you may say, oh, they are intelligent people. But that's not what the Bhagavatam says. Srimad Bhagavatam says intelligent people in this age that we are in the age of Kali. Who are the intelligent people? Don't get proud of it. Who are the intelligent people? Who are the intelligent people in Kali Yuga? Who? Who what? Those who worship the Supreme Lord by Yajna Sankirtanam prayer. By the performance of Yajna means, what does Yajna mean? Pardon? Yajna. What is Yajna? Sacrifice. You know, giving up something. You perform the yajna, you know, you give up something to get something else, right? You give up your money to get whatever you like to eat. What do you like to eat in Philippines? What do you like to eat? Huh? Pancakes? Huh?
Pancit, it's noodles. Okay?
Pancake.
Pancit march, it's kind of...
Noodles, a noodle prep, okay? Maybe you like donuts. In America they like donuts. Donuts. So you give up your work, you give your money, and you get your noodles or panchak, whatever it's called. Forgotten all the names, I used to know them. You sacrifice years of your life in study. You sacrifice your time working in a shop or factory or office or something to try to get money to live. Huh? It's not a question you want to do that, but you have to for money. We make a sacrifice for our family, for our nation. In so many ways we make sacrifices. So the most intelligent person may, but that's not really say the same thing exactly. This is a voluntary yajna. Yajna Sankirtanam prayer. You make a sacrifice. You give your time. It's a very nice sacrifice, a very joyful one. Tushanti cha, romanti cha. It's joyfully performed. It's not like, grudgingly. It's joyful. And it's very simple in Kali Yuga because people are very simple. They're not very, let's say, sharp in their memory. They're not very sharp in their analysis and so on. They're very dulled out, basically. So it made a very simple sacrifice for this age. Yajna Sankirtana. Performance of Sankirtan. What does Sankirtan mean?
Congregational chanting.
Congregation. I think we'll have to put some elastic sticker over his mouth. You're ruining all the fun here, Congregational chanting of the holy name of Krishna. We call it Sankirtan. Is that right? Right or wrong? Right? What else does it mean? Sankirtan. It does mean congregational chanting. Chanting together. What else does it mean? Who said that? Put your hand up. Who said that? I heard a sound. I didn't see a person. You said that? Arnavata, where are you? Oh, you're right. What did you say? What do you say? Complete. Very good. Complete. Complete. Sankirtan ultimately means complete. With everything. Not just, once in a while, but it's everything. Sankirtan is everything. Our existence is Sankirtan. The whole purpose of this movement is to cultivate. Culture, cultivate. They're the same basic root. To cultivate is a culture, to cultivate our constitutional nature, which is Sankirtan. Complete absorption in glorifying Krishna. Yajna Sankirtanam prayer. Hare Krishna. I'm getting used to it now. I've learned the secret.
Connect, disconnect.
Every now and again it needs a pat. It's gone off again. No, it's on again. Hare Krishna. To culture a relationship with Krishna through Sankirtan. So this body, now we hardly know anything about our body. How much do you know about your body? Your body. How much do you know about your body? We were talking to a doctor recently, I think it was, I don't know who it was, but anyway, a doctor somewhere, a professional doctor, and he was saying in a medical word, they think they know about 5% of what you need to know about the body. About 5%. They themselves know very little how it's working. They don't know. It's mystical. It's beyond human capacity to understand the fineries of this body. It was only recently that they understood. We talk about the skin, right? You can see it. You can describe the skin. But underneath the skin, there's another layer. They never knew it before. It's like a plastic bag around the body, which is more important than the skin, holding it all together. They never knew it. It's just a recent discovery. It's more substantial than the skin. Then you've got how many of you know about the lymphatic system in your body? The lymphatic system. Do you know about that? The lymphatic system is more extensive than the blood system. Do you know about that? It's in your body. You don't even know about your own body. Right? We just take it for granted, don't we? How does the eye work? God knows. How does the brain work? The nervous system, what on earth is it? Certain sort of vibrations going through this system. And you know when you cut yourself, immediately, the body sends a system. It sends all the various chemicals to that spot to deal with the cut. It doesn't, you don't think, oh, I've cut myself, okay, neutron 155 in cell 218934876543892B, move quickly towards cell 11. We don't even think about it. It happens automatically. It's nothing to do with us. Nothing. You have no idea what's going on inside. You put food in there, right? You put a nice, what do you like? That doesn't sound very exciting. Something more exciting. A gulab. You've heard of a gulab? Huh? You've heard of a gulab, Jaman? Yeah? You've heard of stool? Stool. You know what stool is? Who knows what stool is? Huh? Do you eat it? Maybe if you're a pig you might eat it. You eat stool? You know what stool is? You know what stool is, Dinesh? You know what stool is? Is it nice? Yeah. Oh, maybe we think our own stool smells nice, I don't know. But stool, wonderful stool. Look at this stool. Oh, woo, my stool. Woo. Maybe the mother thinks that with a baby. Sometimes she thinks her baby's stool is like sandalwood paste, you know. But generally we don't. So you say, this dirty stool. And the stool will say to you, look, my friend, I was a gulab before I met you. When I met you, I was a gulab. You turned me into stool. Right? And now you're criticizing me. I was a nice gulab before you came along. And we don't even know we did that. We have no idea how that happened. We're completely lost, really. We're completely helpless. The doctors fiddle around trying to poke things in and, you know, screw something in here. Half the time they're like car mechanics, you know, they're just screwing something, putting something in to keep it going, experimenting with some chemicals and so on. But we have no idea what's going on. We don't even know about our own body, what to speak of anything else. We're so ignorant of our situation. So ignorant. We have nothing. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're in this situation. Krishna, Radha and Krishna, that golden form. When Krishna came 5,000 years ago, perhaps the most famous thing he did. What would you say the most famous thing that remains in modern society regarding Krishna? What would you say? Krishna, huh? Pardon?
Holy Festival.
The what?
Holy Festival.
Holy, oh no, that's not very famous yet. It's a good festival, but it's not very famous. Come on, let's think of something more.
Christmas.
Huh? Pardon? Oh, not many people know about that.
Christmas.
Huh?
Party.
No, only devotees know about that, it's not. I'm talking worldwide, people in general.
Christmas.
Huh? Bhagavad Gita, well done, Srinam. Bhagavad Gita. Almost everyone's heard of it now. Even before the Krishna conscious movement came to the West, Bhagavad Gita, maybe not understood, but it was heard of. I was reading Bhagavad Gita before I ever heard of the Hare Krishna movement. Way before. Not a very clear understanding of it, but the book was there, It's all over the world in different languages. For decades, centuries it's been traveling the world. Scholars all over the world have been translating and discussing it. They don't follow it, but they discuss it. Most famous thing is Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita. What's the most famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, probably? I don't know, maybe not the most famous, but what's the verse that Prabhupada said when he was asked, tell me the most significant verse, not maybe the main verse, but the most significant verse of the Bhagavad Gita? He said it was the 18th chapter. Now, how many of you know this verse? 18th chapter. 18? Which number? Look it up. 1865. Look it up. Tell me what it is. 1865. You've got your mobile phones. See, Kali Yuga, we can't remember anything. Is there a chair? Maybe our guest needs a chair. Would you like a chair, sir? Is there a chair for you? Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Would you like a chair? Hare Krishna. Please, if there's a chair, there's chairs at the back there if you want. What is 1865? Who's found it on their mobile? Maybe you haven't got reception, I don't know. Who's got a Bhagavad Gita? Come on, look it up, bring it here. Bring the Bhagavad Gita here now. Bring me a Bhagavad Gita. Come on, give me a Bhagavad Gita. Don't tell me what the verse is. Bring me a Bhagavad Gita. Keep your mouth shut. Bring me a Bhagavad Gita. Bring me the Gita, quick, come on. Here it comes. Is it in English or French? It looks like a French one. Oh, it's English. If you want a French Gita, I can get one for you. I've got two with me. This is a small one. I don't know if I can read this. Yeah, just about. What is the 18th chapter called? Come on. You got it. You got it. You got it. Spot on there. 1865 is known as the Paribhashya Sutra of the Bhagavad Gita. That means the essential verse of the whole text. Manmana Bhagavad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vaisyasi Satyam Te Pratijana Priyosi Me Jai! Many of you knew it. Well done, everybody. Well done. But there's another verse after that one. The whole Bhagavad Gita is leading up to this point, by the way. Always, Krishna says, always think of me. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. And offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear, very dear friend. Now that can be supplied to every one of us. But how do you become the very dear friend of Krishna? What's the next verse? And this is the verse Prabhupada then said is the most important verse for us. 1866. What is that? Sarva dharmam parityajya well done. Many of you know it. And what does it mean? Is that what it means? Maybe it does, I don't know. But that's not what it's meant to mean. Abandon. This sounds a pretty heavy thing to say, doesn't it? Krishna says, abandon all what? Abandon all varieties of religion, Prabhupada has translated it. Although dharma is the word sarva dharma, pavityaka. Give up all religions. Or all what it really refers to is everything other than surrender. Don't take shelter of temporary situations. Identity is in this world. When Lord Chaitanya, he gave a very important verse, Naham viprona chanarapiti na pivaisho na shudo, Naham vanina chagriyapiti novanasto yatirva. We are not a man, we're not a woman, we're not a Brahmin or intellectual. We're not a Kshatriya or administrator. We're not a Vaishya or businessman. We're not a Shudra or just a general worker. We're not single. We're not married. We're not retired. We're none of these identities. We are the eternal servants of the Lord. That's our identity. That's our identity. But we're identifying ourselves with being Christian. Amongst Christians there's fighting. Amongst Muslims there's fighting. Amongst Hindus there's fighting. Amongst everyone there's fighting. Because we're false identity. Simple, one thing. So Krishna says, give up all those false identities, all those attachments to various paths of yoga, which are only temporary, to lead to a goal. The goal is, of all these activities, is to surrender to Krishna. Give all this up, Krishna says. Surrender to me. Then what will happen? What will happen then? If I surrender to Krishna, I have nothing left.
I shall deliver you from sinful activity.
Huh?
I shall deliver you from sinful activity.
He will deliver us from all sinful reactions. Now, we think of sinful reactions. Most people pray, oh God, please forgive me for my sins. Isn't it? Do you ever get people going to the church or temple and saying, please forgive me for my pious work? Please forgive me for my good work. No. We want the reactions for those, don't we? We want to get the fruit of those works. But that's totally material. So what Krishna's talking about here is not just like murder or theft or stealing or lying or whatever it is. He's talking about what is a sinful reaction. Any reaction in this world, be it karma or vikarma, is actually we have to become freed of it. Because good reactions are as binding as bad ones. But people want good reactions. They want to stay in this world and enjoy. That's the biggest illusion of all. And Prabhupada said the biggest sin of all is to identify with that. To think that's the goal of life. That's the biggest sin. To think the goal of life, I must be happy in this world. Now we should be happy in this world. But to think that's the goal of life is wrong. Yes, you can be happy in this world by following a proper procedure, a proper culture. But not by this idea that that's my constitution, this is what the world is for, and God is my order supplier. This is a big illusion. Most people don't even think like that. They just think this world is here for my enjoyment, and that's it, finished. This is the biggest sin, to identify me with the body. And if it is you, then you really better look out and find out who you are, because you know nothing about your body. You don't have a clue what's going on inside it, practically. We're totally ignorant. We're not this body. We don't need to know all these things. We know how to get out of this mentality. That's what we need to know. That brings an end to all suffering and all fear. You have no more need to fear. But when you're in ignorance, there's fear. You don't know what's going on in here. Right? Neither does the doctor. Neither does anyone. They're trying. But we don't know. Because of ignorance, we're afraid. We're suffering because of ignorance. Removal of ignorance. When you remove the darkness, you get in Tamasi Mam Jyoti Gamaha, you're in the light. You can see. One can see. There's no more need to fear anything in this world. Nothing. Because Krishna's everywhere. We just can't see him. We're covered over. Our consciousness is covered. Right now, can you see the sun?
No.
Why not?
It's covered.
Covered? The sun's covered?
We're
covered. Even during the day, you say, oh, the sun is covered over by the clouds. It's not covered by the clouds. We're covered by the clouds. The sun is not covered. We're covered. The process to remove the coverings. Then you can see. Bhagavad Gita is not to make the coverings nicer, but to remove them. clarify, I have. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat padatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha bhakti seva uchate. Famous verse spoken by one of our great devotees, Rupa Goswami from Lord Chaitanya's time. He said this, that this process, rishikena rishikesha, means to engage our senses, what we call our senses, in the service of the Supreme Lord. And by doing that, what happens is sarva upadi vinirmuktam. Sarva upadi means you become free of all of these false bodily identities. Tat padadvena nirmalam, the heart becomes pure, cleansed, and we can see things in their true perspective. Otherwise we're seeing through perverted senses, imperfectly, whatever our conditioning is, we're judging things. Because we're identifying ourselves with this body, and every one of us has a different perspective of everything that exists. We can never truly have unity or peace in this world. Never. The only real peace formula is when we understand Krishna in the center. So Lord Krishna said surrender, but who is surrendering? Nobody. So he came again in this gorgeous form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, golden form, to give love of God to everyone. He's freely giving that which was never. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Goda Vishe Namaha. What is he giving? What is he giving? That which was never given before. What is he giving? Huh? He's giving what even Krishna displayed it, but didn't make it available. He's giving Krishna Prema, the highest thing that exists, the highest state of love and consciousness. He's freely giving that, even if you're not qualified, or you are qualified, whether you want it or you don't want it. Lord Chaitanya says, take it, just take it, here it is. And how is he giving it? How is he giving that love of God? Pardon? Through prasadam. Okay, good, well done. He's chanting, dancing, chanting, singing everywhere, spreading the holy name to every town and every village, isn't it? And the more we chant, the more we're going to cleanse our hearts of all these impurities and gradually start to wake up, stop putting ourselves in the center all the time. See Krishna in the center. Yes. Through the Sankirtan movement, this chanting of the holy name, through intelligent people worship the Lord in this age by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. The Lord who is accompanied by his weapons, that means many can mean his associates, his beautiful form, of course the weapons of Sankirtan, mission and so on. But intelligent persons follow that process. So let's try to follow that process and share it as Lord Chaitanya ordered us to do, to spread this Sankirtan everywhere. Hare Krishna. How many of you got this Bhagavad Gita as it is? How many of you got it? Put your hand up if you've got it. One, only two. Not this version, it could be any Prabhupada, any one of them, not this edition. Anyone else who's got a copy? Okay, who's on the book table? You ladies are on the book table there? Can you make a note of all the hands that didn't go up? Only about 8 hands went up, so that means about 80 devotees don't have it. Do you have 80 Bhagavad Gitas? If you don't have it, get it. Get the Bhagavad Gita. Even if you can't understand it, just read it. It will slowly have its effect of waking us up, helping us to understand a little bit about who we are. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Hare Krishna! Okay, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Thank you all very much for coming this evening. It's wonderful to see you again. Many of you are familiar faces, some new faces also with us tonight. There will be RT now and then Prasadam. Is that right? That's the program? RT now? Yeah, I can sing. I'll try to. I'll try. And then there will be prasadam. Is that right? If nothing else, please stay for prasadam.
Yeah.